Welcome to our podcast. I'm Radhika. We have Radha Pramodas Prabhuji. Let's get some questions clarified today. Very common. We are all upset with each other, and forgiveness becomes very difficult, Swamiji. I really want to have deep understanding about forgiveness. How do we forgive somebody? How do we know if we have already forgiven them? How do we have a check? So, for example, um, so somebody hurts us, somebody does something, and then it becomes very difficult for me to forgive them. But over a point of time, it heals because of the time, and we forget that. Otherwise, if we see the person, or if we see the situation, coming across, verbally and intellectually, we know that it's a time waste to focus on things, but profoundly we don't believe that it is కట్ అండి నేను కట్ డ్రాగ్ చేయలేదు, నేను కాంటాక్ట్స్ మర్చిపోయాను. నేను అది మధ్యలో మాట్లాడతాను. మళ్ళీ అండి స్టార్ట్ చేయరా, ఇది డిలీట్ చేసేసాను. వెల్కమ్ టు అవర్ పాడ్కాస్ట్. ఐమ్ రాధిక. వీ హ్యావ్ రాధా ప్రమోద స్వామీజీ హియర్. స్వామీజీ, how do we know if we have forgiven somebody? Is forgiving possible completely?
Yeah, forgiveness is a divine virtue. We need to cultivate it, and it will definitely help us. It is what makes us closer to divine. It's a very, very important virtue, and the first virtue we have to develop. Amanitnam, adambitnam, ahimsa, shantirarjavam. So there are list of qualities and which are divine, and also the divine qualities which are mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna starts with that you have to learn to forgive, which is very, very important. What happens is the person, he is able to see the divine hand in his activities that are happening around. That's why he is able to forgive. He is not seeing the immediate cause of his action. He is able to see some the remote cause of the action also. That means the divine hand. Say you have done something wrong to me. Instead of seeing you as the cause, I am seeing some divine hand behind it, and I'm understanding there is something more for me to learn from this situation. Instead of seeing you, I am seeing you as an instrument of what is happening to me. In that way, he is growing in his consciousness. And then it is said that the quality of a Brahmana means one who is learnt. He is called a Brahmana. What is the quality of a Brahmana? Before the action happens, only he forgives. So before somebody is offending him, instead of taking offense, he first forgives. This is okay, let it be. Because he don't see the person who is doing. He's actually seeing something else is a cause of something happening to me. You are just an instrument. Say my boss is coming and shouting on me, or so my colleague is trying to coo on me or do something to harm me. But I see, no, it's not him. It's something happening to me because of my past activities or some other reason, and I should be cool in my life. So that's a divine virtue. Then I can be very peaceful. When I'm seeing that person, I don't get affected. I can always be peaceful and happy.
It's good to have this verbal understanding. Also, intellectually, we can have, there's a logic, there's something to what you're saying, but in the situation, it's not getting inculcated profoundly. So it gets very tough in the situation. um Even if you remind this, okay, he's not. So what is the practice one should do for us to face this kind of situations, so that we don't have to prolong it for a time? So for example, if somebody hurts me, or to the people that I know, immediately it doesn't happen, it takes lot of time. So to reduce the time and to forgive, as you said, even before the activity, is there any practice?
Yeah, we have practices. The first practice is that we start considering the situation, and we say, okay, I also did mistakes. I also need to be forgiven. Then if I forgive this person, Lord will also forgive me, and I'll not be punished for the activities which I am doing. I might
Okay.
have done something, I am getting punishment. So now there are two things. Say now Krishna is telling Arjuna to punish. Now Arjuna is telling, I'll forgive them. But Krishna is telling, no, no, you should kill them.
Yeah.
No, it looks like, Are, and in the middle, Krishna is telling you should forgive. So this is two things here. See, when it happens to us as a person, we'll forgive. But if it is your responsibility as a king or a manager or a leader, and if the subordinate is doing mistake, as a protection for others, we need to punish. Like there should be punishment for the criminals. Government should not forgive them. They should be punished so that it is a protection for others in the society. So there are two levels in this. One is when it comes to a personal offense. See, somebody said something wrong to me or something to me. Then I may say, okay, I'll forgive. But he's doing for others or somebody depending on me and all, then I need to take an action.
So you're saying for an institute or for an organization, for something as an association, if something goes wrong, not to encourage the other people around and to protect the situation, we need to punish along with according to the rules.
Yeah, but we should not become envious of the person. See,
Okay.
there is
Okay.
something called punishment, but
Mm-hmm.
there's something called forgiveness. See, in the heart, now we should always forgive, but we should take action also.
Mm.
Ajata Shatru, Yudhishthir is called Ajata Shatru. He never considered anybody as his enemy. That means he always forgiving. Even though so much Duryodhana did to him, he forgave him. And Draupadi, when Ashwathama just few hours before, he killed all of her 5 sons. And Draupadi said, okay, let it be, I'll forgive because he's the son of our teacher. Now we say, Are, this person just now killed not only 5 sons, he killed your 2 brothers. Shikandi and Dustaduma was also killed.
Hmm.
So all the 5 sons and 2 brothers of Draupadi were killed by this person just few hours before. But Draupadi said, okay, I don't want his mother to suffer the way I am suffering. She said, this person's father, he is our teacher, and whatever we are now is because of him. And I don't want the teacher's wife to suffer the way I am suffering because I am going through the pain of losing my children, and I don't want her to experience the same pain. So personally, she forgave.
Okay.
But as an institute, he was punished. His head was shaven off and he was thrown, his money was removed. As an institute, he was punished. But individual level, na, why the forgiveness helps us, we can acquire divine virtues. We can experience something. Now you may say, Draupadi is crying. But because she forgave, she is experiencing some peace in her life. That is called, you know, that is a divine peace you can experience.
So you're saying as a practice, first place, we have to see that I as a person also must have done many mistakes. So the same would apply for me. So for the practice, first I have to place myself considering making some mistakes and accepting that I would need forgiveness. So the same way I should practice thinking of forgiving other. Okay, so when we practice this, we do. How do we know? So, for example, I am thinking I have forgiven X person, Y person, Z person for whatever reasons. But how would I know if they don't come across? I don't meet them or something. How do I have a check that I have completely forgiven them?
So you will experience divine peace.
Peace.
Yeah, you will get achirat shanti. That means you will know by yourself that okay, I am experiencing peace. If we keep that negativity in us, that will show. Like why people get psychosomatic disease, because the mind has all this negativity that will come into the body. You get diseases in the body because of the contamination in the mind. If there is impurity in your mind, impurity in the consciousness, that slowly manifests as the diseases, that manifests as stress, anxiety, even cancer also is because of these things. You undergo so much stress and so much negativity, these all things that actually manifests in that way. So we can now, by knowing how much this person is going through stress, anxiety, we can easily predict that in the future this person is going to get cancer, because that's any other very serious disease is going to get. So why to take so much for ourselves? And because of that person, okay, let me forgive and be little more peaceful and have a healthy life and happy life.
Okay. Uh, Swamiji, so when we forgive somebody, do you suggest us to associate them with them back, or just we keep a normal relationship? Let's say we have a problem with
Sometime
some.
it may not be possible. We can keep distance, because if a person is a cheater, if a person is something, we can keep distance. But by some reason, by some mistake, something happened, then we can forgive. It didn't, if his intention was not very wrong, maybe. But if he's a working, we have to work the same colleague and he is staying around, that time we need to at least try to have some working relation. Or if he's a very far person, nothing to do with, better to keep distance. Or if some situations are very hostile to us, better to avoid the situation, so that our, we may not have that much level of forgiveness
Or
initially
capacity to handle it,
handle. So then we have to avoid the situation, we have to change our situation instead of living in the same
because
situation.
some people come up and say if you have forgiven you should associate with them back,
Need
but
not be, that is not that is not recommended in all the times. We have to be practical.
okay. Thank you, Swamiji, for giving us some insights on forgiveness.
Hare
We'll
Krishna.
try to forgive people for our own peace.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.